Are we there?
Live.
Live. Aha! Well, hello everyone and welcome to HoGaLe's Global Astrology. And as you can see, we've got the two ladies here, our two wonderful ladies full of wit and wisdom and talent.
Oh, that's
and
us, Lady G.
Yes. So we have Lady G, of course, in the middle, and we have Dr. Lena Rodriguez, just to my, I think it's right. I can't quite work.
Yeah, whatever.
Exactly. It's all mixed around.
And it's like, oh, other way.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. It's like that.
Everything is opposite. And ladies and gentlemen, my goodness, we really do have a show for you today. Many questions have come in. As you guys know, the political landscape is just utterly extraordinary right now. I mean,
You got to laugh because otherwise you would just go stark raving bonkers, you know.
Exactly. It's so intense. So first of all, we all know everything's going a bit cray. So let's ground ourselves, shall we, in a little bit of astrological weather. Because tonight we're going to have political questions extraordinaire going around the world. One card pulls, live questions, the whole shebang. So I've been talking about the eclipses, as many of you will know. What I did on Thursday, I did a leaders special. So I looked at 4 leaders: Joe Biden, Duck LaRange, Xi Jinping, and Putanesca. Yeah, see what's going on. And I also talked a little bit about Liz Truss. I shot that video in the small hours of Thursday morning. I set the timer to have it go off at 1 p.m. UK time, which was like 8 a.m. Eastern or whatever. And as that video was going live, she was standing at the podium resigning. So the turd is flushed. Yeah, Liz turd is gone. So there's that. We also have the astonishing scenario. Things are so for anyone that doesn't know this, things are so bad in the Tory party that they think, Boris, yes.
What happened to Boris? Give him a ring. Just ring up Boris. You know, like, who isn't even in the country because he's never in the country. But that's another story.
So you know what? You know what happens? What happens? So my sister gave me some feedback today. He has literally hot-footed it back from the Dominican Republic. I think it was today.
Right.
My sister
best have a shave. Might be PM again.
Oh my God. He's barely had time to get a proper tan. That's how little time he spent in the Dominican Republic, because he's obviously
it's Monty Python stuff.
It's extraordinary. My sister told me, apparently, allegedly, he was booed on the aeroplane because he flew Black British Airways, and of course everyone flying back is obviously going to be British. So apparently for 5 minutes everyone booed. He's shameless. He would have just waved it off. So he's come back, and at the moment, and then of course we've got Penny Mordaunt. So Penny Mordaunt apparently is on 23 MPs. They say Rishi Sunak is on 121 MPs, and the threshold is 100 because they was hoping to keep Boris out.
Yeah.
They say Boris has 56 MPs, but it could be more like 100 privately. I mean, can you imagine? So we're now petitioning in the UK to have a new general election. And when I posted on Facebook, I said, this is the equivalent. I said, if Boris comes back in, I said, this is the equivalent of a person leaving an abusive relationship with the kids, going to the shelter, and then just going back.
Yes.
A few months later. It's astonishing.
It's absolute madness. And the UK isn't due for a general election till 2025. So it's a big deal for people to be lobbying to bring it forward. But the Independent UK newspaper is running a protest thing. If you want to sign on, if you're in the UK, you can sign on. I think they're up to 250,000 people want a general election now.
Yeah, yeah. When I signed it, because it shows you what the count was. When I signed, and that was yesterday, it was at 747,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know what the threshold is, but it's going to exceed
Oh,
it.
it's way over. I think it's 100,000 signatures.
Yeah, something
like 700 and something.
Mm.
So there's that. So just to give a little bit of extra levity here. So Pam Pierce, and she highlighted something to me, and she said, part of American politics is measured in Scaramucci's. Do you remember what's his name? Scaramucci. He was the press secretary. Right.
Yeah.
And he lasted 10 days. So she pointed out quite funnily, she says, Liz Truss has lasted 4.5 Scaramucci's. But I would say it wasn't even as long as that, because she only lasted 44 days. So actually it's 4.4 Scaramucci's.
Yes, I love this measure.
It's extraordinary. And we will start with we have started the show, but we must talk as well about Xi Jinping. Yeah.
Mm.
Now, here in my notes, as you guys know, I always keep my notes, different pages, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
So on the 15th of October 2022, I wrote, Xi Jinping becoming authoritarian, well, he already is, or on other countries' soil. Yeah, on other countries' soil. And I can't remember what I was looking at and something like that. And what's happened is Mars has transited into sidereal Gemini. And it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. And it falls right on top of Xi Jinping's sun. And the sun is your leadership, how you project yourself into the world, your ego. Mars is what? War, aggression, violence. And I said, oh, there could be some kind of disturbance at home, this, that, and the other. But guess what happened? In Manchester yesterday, did you see that there was a protest by some Hong Kongers? Did you make
Oh,
this?
no,
May not
I
have reached
didn't.
you. So there was a peaceful protest by some Hong Kongers outside of the, what's it called? Let me get the name right. It was, what was it called? It's like the consulate there, but is that the word? Is the word consulate? It's something equivalent to like the Chinese embassy, consul general. There we are.
Okay.
Of China. And what happened was it blew up into a big fight, and a protester was dragged into the
That's not good.
grounds, which are technically China. What we have to
China.
remember is every embassy, it is that nation's land.
Right.
We're looking at a Khashoggi scenario, really.
Right. The guy who's called, what's his name? Oh, Jesus, where is it? The man, what's his name here? Zheng Jiwan dragged the guy in by his hair, this protester, and the other people in the consulate started beating this guy up. Inside, the police were wondering whether or not if they could come in or not.
What to do?
Luckily, it was Chinese land. They had to go in, break it all up. And the guy didn't apologize. He said, I was doing my honorable thing. He was threatening Xi Jinping and blah, blah, blah. So already that idea of authoritarianism being expressed by Xi Jinping on others' land has already happened. And tomorrow, you know, he's going to be sworn in for his historic third term. But did you see where the guy got dragged off? The guy, what is it? Hu Jintao, former PM of China, escorted out of the hall. So you know when they're all sitting there like that and everything's all perfectly choreographed, they literally lifted the guy up under his armpits, and he was saying something to Xi Jinping, and he was carted out of the auditorium, and it's caused a huge scandal, and they're trying to kind of keep it stum. So anyway, it's all happening. Ladies, what news do you have for us before we start the show proper?
No, not for me. I'm just here ready to fly.
Yep, that's
All right.
me too. I'm here.
Perfect. Sorry, I just had to give that because so much has been happening. Okay.
Yeah, that's
I
major.
mentioned the Scaramucci's. I mentioned Xi Jinping, which we'll come back to. So what we'll do is let's go UK first because it's just so utterly ridiculous. So we'll do UK, then we'll do USA, then we'll have China, then we'll have Brazil, and then we'll be USA again for you know who, as you can imagine. And then we'll look at 2023 and then maybe some questions after that. All right. So, as I mentioned, Rishi Sunak is essentially versus Boris Johnson. But there is talk of a deal between them. Can you believe it? Now, Rishi Sunak is seen as the backstabber. Yeah. But obviously, I mean, there was so much, you know what, that hit the proverbial fan. By the time he put in his resignation, it was pretty much already done.
Yeah.
So saying there's a deal. So what lays in store for both? Who's most likely to be PM? So I think we could do either full card pulls on each or maybe 3 cards on each man. Do you reckon?
Yeah.
And then we can see how they do. How about that?
Right. So it's Boris versus Sunak.
Yeah, most likely. Penny Mordaunt's in there, but they don't.
No, that's just, you know.
Yeah, I don't really see that flying. Oh my God. And the whole trust thing. And let's see what's going on in the comments. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. While the ladies shuffle, I will click on some. So we've got Patricia Franzino, Auntie D, Suzanne Chacan, L. Oh, look. So KTL says, I just watched the Chinese video with the former PM. I thought he looked very disoriented. So they're saying he's ill. He is 79. So there is that.
Sorry, is that Xi Jinping or the guy they hauled out?
The guy they hauled out, who is called Hu Jintao, former PM of China. Rishi Sunak. Let's pull on Rishi Sunak first. How about that?
Yeah, I've done both.
Oh, you've done already. Perfect. All right, I'll do the same. Forgive me. Who's ready?
Will I kick off?
Yeah, go for it, Lena.
Okay, I think he's most likely, but it's unresolved, more unresolved than I thought, actually. Here's the 6 of Pentacles. This is the backdoor dealings right now, you know, whipping up the numbers and doing the count and who's on what side. People are torn, meaning those who are making the decision, that's the membership of the Tory party. They don't actually want him and they're arguing about it, but they might end up going for him. This is a compromise thing. He gets better cards than Boris. Will I do Boris and we'll do both of me?
Yeah, we'll do it. Sunak, Boris, or, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so Boris gets the Queen of Swords, which is the legal system does allow him to come back with this nonsense. Backdoor dealings, you know, it's just like look at the 2 different guys and look at the cards. They're all backdoor dealings, right? And he's off with the fairies, as we know, you know. Oh, well, I'll either get it and be PM or I'll just go off to Lake Como for the weekend, shall I? You know, like Disneyland. This is Disneyland, the Boris card.
Wow.
So I think they'll go for Sunak. What about you?
What do you have?
Okay, ready. We'll start with Sunak. Well, it's starting off, it's kind of hot. He's trying to defend things. We've got in the center of it juggling. And then we've got for him, again, the win, the celebration for him. Boris working on it.
Yeah.
But again, things are up in the air and his illusion and his, you know, trippy whatevers when it comes to going forward. So he's hoping he's going to go forward. But yeah, looks like it's going to go for Sunak.
Interesting. I like those cards too, by the way.
Aren't they great? These are the Shadowland.
The
They're-
Shadowland deck. Great.
Yeah, it's a fun deck.
Fabulous, fabulous. Okay, Rishi Sunak. What do I have here? So for him, look, we got the 10 of Wands. Yeah, 10 of Wands. So you can imagine for Rishi, this has been a long old slog schlep battle because there was the actual part where he was actually sitting in, obviously in Parliament. Well, not in Parliament, in the cabinet with Boris in the first place, thinking, oh my God, I have to deal with this douchebag and this guy. So we can see he's been biding his time, and he already as well, remember, he had his video pre-made in advance. And this is part of the reason why the membership were like, you stabbed in the back, you were planning this, even though it was like Murder on the Orient Express.
Yes.
They all did it. Do you know what I mean? Everyone had a stab, but he was the one that was considered to be that. It also shows the hard work he has ahead of him, even though he has the nominations. The next card he gets is the Hierophant. And it's in the obstacle position, funny enough, but I won't really call it that much of an obstacle. These are only 3 cards here. So really it's talking about government. So that really does imply, could Rishi, after his hard work, get the top job? Yeah, because it's all about government and being in power and stuff like that. But the outcome card here, and I think this is more to do with the membership. Here, they've got the 6 of Cups, but reverse. So we know what the 6 of Cups is all about, nostalgia and all this kind of stuff, happy feelings. But I feel the membership are like, you're a backstabber. You've destroyed our peace, our nostalgia, our wonderful thoughts we've had about Boris. So I think he's potentially going to win. But I think he is going to have, issues with the membership who have this kind of nostalgic, unrealistic.
Of course they do. That's what fueled Brexit.
Exactly.
Oh, back to the good old days,
Exactly. This
when we ruled the world and suppressed 1/4 of the world's population. It was a splendid time.
Yeah. And that's so much of kind of like their thought process. So for Boris, surprise, surprise, look what we get here. The lovers. Yeah. I mean, here we are. Dealing, making deals, making up, calling up people. There's this woman who's an absolute sycophant of his. She's called Nadine Dorris, and my nickname for her is Nadine Lickspittle, because she really is. She absolutely this is almost Nadine here, like, Boris, please, I love you. Come back. Yeah,
come back to me, Boris.
Indeed. So here he is on the plane. Yeah, he's hot-footed it with speed. Here we have the chariot here, flying back from the Dominican Republic on British Airways, even though he's been booed, hot-footed it back. But look, I also get the 7 of Cups.
Yeah.
It's delusional.
Yeah.
They are delusional. If they bring Boris back, who is still under investigation by the Select Committee, which is about, they said he could come back in and have to testify almost immediately. So he'd be at the lecture. Everyone, I'm back, and then he's in court. It's delusional. This shows the Tory party are completely delusional, and we need a general election to get rid. Anything else?
Sweet. Greetings to Heather from Trinidad and Tobago.
Yay!
Hi, Heather.
Hello, Heather. Thank you so much for joining us. So that was number 2. Anything else to add, ladies, before we move on?
It's hard to follow that, really, isn't it?
It's like you said, it's Monty Python beyond. It's beyond Monty Python. Who else do we have in as well? We've got Jakanda Thomas. Who else? We've got June Jackson. Someone's saying here, June Jackson saying, USA nearly as ridiculous as the UK lately. Do you know what? The UK has even managed to outdo Duck L'Orange. I think we've got...
Not easy. The bar was very high, but the UK's done it.
Absolute loony bin stuff, isn't it?
And
all right.
Also, it just shows they treat us all, whichever country you're talking, they really think everyone's stupid. And they can just keep doing this and it's all right. Because no one is governing. While all this is going on, no one is doing governance.
Yeah. It's just astonishing. It's just astonishing. Okay, so now we're going to have a bit of Steve Bannon, yeah, the warthog. Let's
The warthog.
Yeah, the warthog. Honestly, whenever I see him, I just see a warthog.
Do we need to read on Steve and his sentence?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because
I'll get out my Italian cards for Steve.
Because with Steve, it's that first part, even though it hasn't quite happened yet, it's that first kind of part of a bit of accountability. Do you know what I mean? In terms, at least he's been charged. So just in case everyone, so we're all on the same page. So Bannon sentenced to 4 months in jail and a fine. Now, I think the fine, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, is around about $6,500. Is that correct? Or
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I was hoping it was $600,000, but
no,
you know,
it's a pittance. It's just insulting.
I mean, that's a year's worth of McDonald's, you know, for Steve Bannon. I mean, like, come on. So, but he has, of course, appealed it. So what I wanted to ask is, will it be successful, his appeal, or will it crash and burn?
Oh, okay. Boris's appeal.
Yeah. So Bannon, 4 months, sentence of 4 months. $6,500 fine, which is a pittance for someone.
I'm sorry, it's just so pathetic. It's insulting to the voting public. It's just obscene.
So this will be full pull, full pull.
Yeah, no, I don't know that Bannon's health is so marvelous.
Ooh.
Looking at this.
Very interesting.
Okay.
Are you ready to go, Lena? Feel free to go for it if you're ready.
Okay, yeah. This is a legal person thinking. So this is lawyers who are thinking, what on earth can we say to justify an appeal when it was all done on 37 channels every night of the week? We all saw it. He said it again another 1,000 times in case anybody had missed it. So they're struggling, right? So then comes the card of not being very well. You know, this is a malady of sorts, and the card of melancholy. So I think this is just staving it off for another 6 weeks or 4 months or however long an appeal takes. And then he'll be yesterday's news, hopefully, by the time he finally puts on the jumpsuit.
Wow.
I don't think it'll fly.
Lady G, what do you have?
Well, going into it, we have, as usual, the couple lies and the drama that he does, fishtails, that are grounded and trying to be anchored in. He's trying to anchor this stuff, but the challenge is the investigation, shedding light on his actions by the light of the moon. And we have a little Pinocchio's nose going there. So, and then the clarification is, again, the going forward at the crossroads, and blossoming is the underneath of it all, the nightmare scenario that continues to go on with 45 and the rest of them of his sycophants. So, yeah, it's not going to bode well for him.
Yeah, I mean, the whole scenario, I mean, you know, even though one can anticipate these things with astrology and stuff like that, even when it's unfolding, it's still shocking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's still shocking. I mean, with these eclipses as well, the eclipses are also involving Uranus, by the way. So we've only got like today's what, the 23rd of October 2022.
2
And
days.
technically the 2 days it's there. But as we know, there's a month spread, but we can see that intensity already. And Uranus is sudden shocks and surprises, twists of fate, things that we can't anticipate. And this, you know, Boris flying back from the Dominican Republic, I mean, that, do you know what I mean? That, anyway, so with Bannon, what do we have here? An abuse of power, surprise, surprise. 5 of Swords. We all know what this cards mean. This is him with his aggression, going out there, gangbusters. Remember, strangle the Biden administration in the crib.
In the crib, yes.
All of that stuff. And there's over 1,000 of you have joined us, by the way. So thank you so much.
Thanks,
for that.
guys.
Now, this is interesting because this is turned up in the obstacle position. And it's the star. Now, we know the star is about what you know, regeneration, optimism. For many of us, it is the America card. And it's turned in the obstacle position. So could it be that now he is so kind of soiled, or in his warthoggy way, you know, he's just rummaged through so many truffles of deceit that, you know.
Hard for Trump for 45.
Of course.
Because he's the star. He can get away with anything.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah, it really is speaking on both counts. Yeah. So we see here the abusive power. Yeah, Trump, obviously, but also as well, this is America as well.
Exactly.
Kind of, you know, having to kind of reflect. And it's, for me, it's almost like this struggle for rejuvenation. You know, it's this struggle for rejuvenation, knowing things aren't so great, but you know, wanting to change, but then almost like cost of living, gas prices, you know what I mean? It's very febrile. It's almost like what my sense is, you know how in Britain we always talk about the weather. And I feel in America, it's obviously can be politics, but also gas prices can also be a point of conversation. Do you know what I mean? Because it's so integral. Anyway, 6 of Coins reversed. We not much interpretation needed for that. Corruption. Yeah. Corruption. This is charitable, feeling generous. This is corruption. Yeah, which we know with him. Look at this. The smug merchant, 10 of Cups. Oh my God, it's like an autobiography of this man's life, isn't it?
That's right.
So here he is, the smug merchant. He still thinks that he is the be-all and end-all. This also talks about the energy of Trump, but I really feel, in the sense with Bannon, he really feels himself like some intellectual genius. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, I am just, you know, at least Trump knows, apart from the little wobble, at least he knows it's important to wear a pressed suit and a tie. He always looks the same, but at least he looks like he's not homeless. Anyway, but look here. I think this is picking up as well on what you were picking up, Lena. It's the Queen of Cups, but reversed. And this card can often refer to sickness. It can mean mental health issues or feeling unwell. So there could be something here with his health. It maybe the stress gets to him.
And my point, and I keep saying this on my own channel and everywhere else, I'm not an advocate for jail. We find ourselves saying send them to jail. I don't think jails should be the answer to anything much, actually. But the point being, I would rather see these guys gagged publicly than in jail. I don't care if Roger Stone or Steve Bannon or even Trump goes to jail. I would like to see them off the airwaves as the punishment.
Yeah. Because it's their rhetoric, which is where so much of this poison and bile has come from, isn't it? Because
Mike Flynn, and they're saying it every day of the week. They are putting out this truly treasonous stuff. How come? You know.
Yeah, because if they're not, like you said, these people, them being behind bars is now they need to be punished, of course, but there is this thing, like you say, if they still have the bull pulpit from prison, it doesn't make any difference, because you could have Duck Larange in his orange jumpsuit where we try and figure out where the neck begins and the jumpsuit starts, because Well, maybe there's no makeup in prison. Maybe that might be denied.
Oh, yeah, that'd be interesting. But there would in his, because he'd be in rich prison. But anyway, that's okay.
Exactly. So it's like
another story.
I have a feeling he would still be, not tweeting, but do you know what I mean? He would still. I'm hoping he will jump on the plane, and we'll talk about that. That will be a question which will come up. But I'm hoping he'll jump on the plane. Okay. Ready for the next question?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we've done UK. We've done that. Okay. So number 4. See how we're doing on time. All right. We're not doing too bad. So here, mentioned Xi Jinping earlier. Now, what I've asked here, will Xi Jinping reign for the rest of his life?
Big question. Okay. Interesting way of looking at it all. Will he reign?
Because they say he's going to be ratified tomorrow, which will be since Chairman Mao and all this kind of stuff, which clearly he thinks he is.
Mm.
And it could potentially be a lifetime appointment. And let's see, will it come true? Xi Jinping. Will he reign for the rest of his life? Thank you, everyone, for joining us as well. We really appreciate it.
Oh, curious.
Let's see. Ooh.
Yeah, it's got an. Will I just
go for
rave
it?
On?
Go for it.
Okay. It starts with the card of loss and sorrow and regret, the 5 of Cups. After that, it's all swords. So we have the 7 of Swords, the theft, the Knight of Swords running into the Tempest, followed by the 4 of Swords having a bit of a lie down. I mean, the way I interpret these for this question is he's going to go all out to secure by theft, if you look at it that way. I mean, that's not how you describe it geopolitically, but he's going to try and, just like Putinska did, just elect me another time and another time. Oh, well, why bother with the elections? You obviously love me, I win. So, it's that sort of perverted logic. He's prepared to fight all his enemies to try and do this. But when you look at the bookends, loss and potentially end of life, I think he will lose before he passes off the mortal coil. But it's a fine line. It's weird stuff.
Yeah. It's quite.
What did you guys get?
What do you have, Lady G?
Well, going into it, we have the abundance of being tied up, self-tied up, and it could be his health. He may have some underlying health issues going on.
Does. He actually does.
Yeah. And so we have the challenge is the burden of being the narcissist and at a crossroads with what he's doing. I like the crossroads with the little pitchfork here.
Yeah.
Clarification is moving forward. You like his little charioteers there? Moving forward and trying to put out things that the community is going to want to hear. But underneath of it all, we have rapidly incoming more of his lies as we see happening, and then goodness being looked at over that. So I think they're going to be looking at it. He's just going to try to pull something. He's of ill health, and it's just not going to fly. It's not going to fly.
Wow. And before I reveal my cards, I just want to answer this question. So Julie Robinette, it says, is Hogarth drinking his wine with a straw? Yes. No.
I'm sure it's pomegranate juice.
It's Coca-Cola. And I was around the kitchen because I need a little bit of caffeine, because you imagine The show goes up at midnight, folks. The show goes out the whole day before, so I need my bit of caffeine. The wine glass is all that was free at the time, and actually was a free wine glass where I went to a Portuguese wine tasting with one of my friends, Tara, and it was fabulous. We ate all types of food and stuff like that, but we were completely boshed by the end of it. Right, Xi Jinping. Ooh, my cards, folks, my cards. Okay, I get the Hanged Man, but look, I get in reverse.
Reverse.
Yeah, I get in reverse. Now, you would think for someone that is about to be crowned supreme leader and all that kind of stuff, you might think, oh, that's not such a great omen. However, when I think about it, could this also be the feeling of the Chinese people where they're like, we're never going to be able to get rid of this man? Because because here is this like change of perspective and stuff like that, but when the hangman is reversed, it can be a very entrenched feeling, a very bogged down, stuck energy, just particularly when you see all this choreography, you know, for the politics, and then the elder leader being kind of forcefully escorted from the room because he's not feeling well, even though he had comments to say to the man next to him and Xi Jinping himself. Was he maybe making a comment here like, listen, guy, like, come on, you can't reign forever. Anyway, we'll have to see. Next card, obstacle card, legalities. I think you got the Queen of Swords as well. Did you, Lena, for Xi Jinping?
I can't remember. Yeah,
I think you did. So here, if we think, look, this is supposed to be about rational judgment, fairness, you know, that legal kind of side, but it's come in the obstacle position. So it's almost like, it's like Xi Jinping wants things to stay stuck legally. Do you know what I mean? When I look at it that way, he wants to be legitimized.
Yes.
So basically staying stuck in place. Let's see how it goes. The next card here is justice. So he obviously wants this to be ratified into law.
Yes, that's what he's going for, isn't it?
He's going for that. But look, the moon turns up. We know there is so much arm twisting here. And I think really that guy with the former leader being escorted off was the only slip indicating there's a lot more going on under the surface in China that we're not aware of. Everything is being suppressed. Even the dissent within the country is being suppressed. But here the outcome card is this, the Emperor. So it looks like despite, everything, I think he gets crowned anyway. I'll be very surprised if he's...
I agree. I think he'll be doing it for a while and then there'll be an illness crisis.
Yeah. Particularly as well when because Mars is going to stay at about 1 degree, float around 1 degree of sidereal Gemini for about 3 weeks. And then in the latter part of November, he comes back. And then he's going to stay in sidereal Taurus up until about the middle of March 2023. This is an extraordinary transit. However, in the middle of the March, it means Mars will go back over Xi Jinping's planets in Gemini, including the Sun, and also as well through over a lot of the planets in the United States charts as well. So 2023 will also hold a few surprises. Maybe it's then that Xi Jinping, maybe the health issues could happen because the sun also represents the health.
But I think he'll be there for a while yet. There's a question for you, Hogarth, from Melody. Is there a serious female contender for PM?
Well, it's Penny Mordaunt. Penny Mordaunt's the only one. But I think, look, between the two beasts of Rishi Sunak and the blonde gorilla, I think she's just going to be a bit outshone. I think she has a future in cabinet because she's proved herself to, she's pretty good. Maybe a future PM after a few cycles. But it should go to Rishi. If it does go to Boris, then that is utterly extraordinary. And
it's really a suicide mission.
Yeah. It will be pretty much the end of half of UK politics. It would be utterly extraordinary, but You never know.
Yeah.
Anything else to add on Xi Jinping before we move to the next one? No? All good? All right. So now let's go. Now we are flying to Brazil, everyone. It's a shame I don't have an aeroplane sound effects, but anyway.
With the evil Bolsonaro versus Lula.
Oh, so for anyone
It keeps going on, this election from hell, doesn't it?
It's extraordinary. Now, of course, the whole world is in pain at the moment. So for anyone that may not be familiar, you've got Lula, who is the much loved former president of Brazil, had to leave in scandal. I think he even got locked up. He may have got locked up for a bit. I can't remember. It was annulled or something. He was done for corruption, but much loved. He's come back. Bolsonaro, of course, who they call Tropical Trump, by the way.
Yeah.
Now, Tropical Trump wants to basically completely exploit and get rid of the Amazon. Lula has run on a platform of saving it. And there's gold dredging, indigenous people being dragged out of their homes at gunpoint and all this horrible stuff, illegal logging for beef and the whole shebang. So they've had their first round, and it's kind of been like 50-50. It's not been clear enough. So under Brazilian law, there is a second round that happens a month later. So based on that, we can literally ask, who's going to win? So maybe we do another 3 cards for each one and see. Yeah, and then we can do some 1-card pullers.
All right.
Okay, what were the names again? Because I know nothing about Brazil at all.
No problem. So we have Lula.
Okay.
And we have Bolsonaro.
Okay, Lula versus Bolsonaro.
Yes.
Bolsonaro.
Okay.
So that means for you, it's a complete cold read. So whatever you
Yeah,
get.
I love that. Yeah. Won't say anymore.
All right, Bolsonaro. Let's Bolsonaro.
Lula win.
Bolsonaro. Okay, Lula.
Oh my goodness.
Oh. Ooh.
These cards I've got are crystal clear. I just hope it's not me overriding the energy of the cards.
Go for it, Lena. What do you have?
Well, for Lula, representing the left, the sun's shining. The country's moving to a safer, better place, and there's dancing in the streets.
Oh, wow.
Bolsonaro, on the other hand, gets the 8 of Swords, the King of Pentacles. You can't sack me. I'm the richest guy in the room, like fighting that. And the card of loss.
Ooh.
So like I said, almost ridiculously clear. So I'm a bit suspicious of my own thing there. So I'm really interested what you've got, Lady G, because you're not as invested.
I'm going to do the pendulum on this.
Oh, yes, please.
I know neither. So are you going to answer us truthfully? It's saying yes. So will Lula prevail? Kind of
like
Oh, it's gaining momentum.
kind of starting.
Yeah.
It's not a
What
strong.
about Bolsonaro? Will Bolsonaro prevail? Saying Bolsonaro, no.
Oh, look at that. No, that's interesting.
Yeah, Bolsonaro. Let's ask Bolsonaro.
So it might be a narrow win with that weak sort of yes.
Yeah, I don't think they're really great, for him because it's not a big swing, but they're really against Bolsonaro is what it looks like.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
That would make sense. So because at the moment it's still very, which is why they had to go to the second round. So it could be that, it could be squeaky bum time where Lula just wins it. Bolsonaro maybe loses, but maybe he contests and does a Trump playbook. Wow.
I guess they figure he's the lesser of two evils, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the whole problem for Latin America with corruption on both sides, not just Latin America, I mean, every continent. And then, you know.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? Really interesting times. Like I said, these Pluto's transit of Pluto is no joke. Really is. We were having to face so much shadow. So with Lula, it's very interesting. Very interesting. Lula, I actually get the Five of Swords, which can often refer to an abuse of power.
Yeah.
So could this be an abuse of power in the past, because he was locked up for corruption in the past and stuff like that? But also as well, what this suggests for me is that I think he's prepared to be ruthless to get rid of Bolsonaro. Yeah. There's going to be some tactics here. And again, look, I'm not invested. Please don't roast us in the comments. I'm sure there'll be people from Brazil being like, how dare you? But look, we're just saying what we see. He really means business. Lula really wants to tear this stuff up and win. But look, so that was the Five of Swords, but here we've got the Three of Wands. He's prospecting. It looks like Lula at least has a vision for the future. There's an anticipation in this energy here of something coming in. And it's quite interesting as well, because I was watching a reports and they were talking about the Amazon. Yeah, they were talking about the Amazon River, its difficulties. There's water here. And also as well, Bolsonaro, believe it or not, was blowing up some of these boats that are dredging for gold, polluting the Amazon River. But it was Lula has been the one getting blamed. So it's quite interesting. But he does have a vision. This could also be business, trade, speculation, those things. But look, the outcome card is the Page of Swords, which of course can talk about what? Truth. Yeah, truth. Bringing. So it's kind of, could it be that maybe there's some dirt that he digs up on Bolsonaro, or something like that? Or there is this element, though, of swashbuckling. You know, these swords are there. So it looks like to me, Lula is prepared to basically be ruthless to win. I'm not saying that he's going to cheat or anything, but his mindset is like, I have to win this. And hopefully he's going to win with what? The Sword of Truth. Bolsonaro, what I get for him, first of all, I get the star. Now, isn't it interesting? Because some of us associate this star with Trump, and he's known as the tropical Trump. So Bolsonaro, for me, he's in it for all the limelight, the glamour, the attention, the trappings of the office, really. Because this is a guy that wants to chop down the whole Amazon, so we can't really interpret this card that positively. But look, he gets the Knight of Pentacles, which comes up. And this can mean what? The mercenary, but it's also as well, it's a slow card. It's not quick. So as Lady G's pendulum was indicating, it was a bit whack, whack, whack. Do you know, it wasn't. This suggests that his campaign, he doesn't romp to victory. And then look at my outcome card, 10 of Swords. Yeah. 10 of Swords reversed. I mean, it can look like the swords are falling out, but either way, it's not the best of news to see this card in a reading. So maybe it's very close. He just loses out. He tries to do a legal challenge, and Lula maybe sets up a challenge of his own, which is like kind of almost like a ruthless battle in order to protect the future prospects of Brazil. Who knows? We'll have to see.
Yeah, I want to thank you. Julie Golif got the same thing with her pendulum as I did with mine. Shaky, and then a definite no for Bolsonaro. So that was
interesting.
Very interesting.
It means there's something shady this election. It's not going to be, there's something there that's not right.
Oh, no, it's totally filthy, because the right have already framed Lula once. That's why he went down, he was framed.
Yeah.
So that Five of Swords could be that they're prepared to do anything ruthless against him too.
Yeah, that could be.
They will stop at nothing.
Because there was a lot of ruthlessness there, wasn't it? That energy. So I didn't know that he was framed before. Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. Okay,
Oh,
let's
there's
see.
a message here. The US Coast Guard reports sighting Chinese and Russian naval ships near the coast of Alaska.
Oh, that's not good.
Mm.
That's not good. They'd be after the oil, by the way. That'd be one of the things. They'd be after oil.
Oh, and then another one, the 1st of November is Israel's next election. Like there isn't enough going on in the first.
My God! Well, that's
And
Russian and
Netanyahu is
the
running
Chinese
again.
could
Like
be-
Boris, it's like all this revisiting. It's
exactly.
It's
Russian
always-
and Chinese could be there putting that, thing about trying to just intimidate us with their.
yeah, it's proving an alliance. It's
Yeah,
China
exactly.
giving potential,
Exactly. Another intimidation tactic. We're
Yeah.
going to use nuclear. We'll come after you if you interfere. Yada, yada, yada.
wow.
So much
Wow. We've got 1,300 with us now. So
Awesome,
thank you guys so much. We really do appreciate the support. Let's have a few click ups and then we're going to talk about Duck L'Orange. Yeah. My God, Duck L'Orange, this guy, he's just something beyond. We will never see the like again, by the way. We don't know how this story ends, but one thing I can say, we will never see the like again, not in this way. But his legacy, oh dear, it's going to be, we're dealing with it for years. Let's see here. We are, oh, look at this. Someone's saying, Auntie D is like, so we are living in 80s movies remakes. Okay, now I'm oriented. I'll be working in Revenge of the Nerds.
That's great.
Thanks for that. All right. So this has come in. Oh, forgive me. Let me just see if I can get the name up of the person on my other laptop. 1 minute.
Well,
Oh,
they must be up there visiting Sarah Palin.
Yeah, they could be.
That's what I was thinking myself. Oh no, never mind. Someone there, I put in the wrong password. So basically, I'll get their name in a minute. So Trump's plane apparently seen via a verified Twitter account. I can't remember who it was, but this person's quoting this person's Twitter account. And she says, the Orange Abomination's 757 jet, which was in the hangar for repairs. Do you remember? Was in the hangar for repairs. And then there was all that grifting. Yeah. Has been spotted on the tarmac of Palm Springs.
Yeah.
The flying range, so you know about this one. So the flying range is 4,400 miles, allegedly. And she asks, is he going to flee the US before the midterms? Oh, that's a great question, eh? I'll just get the name.
Okay. Yes, I agree, Cara. We need Xanax for the whole world right now. That's so true. Okay, so will he do the bolt?
Mary Huddleston. That's the one. Mary Huddleston. Forgive me. Comfort break. Un momento. Ladies, talk amongst yourselves.
Off we go. Will the Yeti do a runner? That's funny. I'll just jump in here.
Yeah, go for it.
There is a boat going to a safer place. Okay, so here's two cards that are interesting. It's the Seven of Wands, defending. That's him verbally defending everything he does at all times. But he's carrying a few wounds now, and this whole thing is getting a bit more real to him. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's smart enough to be really worried because his ego carries all before it, so it'll be all right. But part of him must start to be worried. You can't rely totally for your health, wealth, and fame on your ego, exactly. he's feeling a bit emotional.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
And he's a funny mix, because on the one hand, I don't think if you ask Mary Trump or anyone else, he actually doesn't have normal emotions. Like, he doesn't have empathy. He doesn't get emotions, but he is reactive. So he actually is an emotional creature. It's just that the emotions aren't the normal emotions.
Just rage.
Yes,
eating.
he has rage and worship me. He's a windscreen wiper between those two. Anyway, back to the question. I was laughing because I got a boat, not a plane. But I think he might go somewhere, although wouldn't the FBI have his 3 passports at the moment? I don't think this is very far. It might be just literally to a private island or something, not a real exodus, like a man-made island or something like that, I think. Because at the end of the day, he's a 78-year-old American man. I don't think he's going to restart in Doha or Moscow or anywhere else. I've never seen him going far. So this might be just a little toe in the water, so to speak. Go somewhere, but not huge.
Lady G, what do you have?
Well, I have going into it, him and his fishtails and the emotional drama that he puts out of just being so persecuted,
Oh, poor thing.
there. But he still thinks he's going to have some good luck somewhere. He's counting on the, Supreme Courts, et cetera, that are going to pull him out of this. The challenge is he's the emperor. He is the man. And, the fires are lighting up. It is getting hot, So the clarification is I get the 9 of Wands too. It's heating up, trying to battle through with the heart of it, and trying to keep some sort of balance. Now, when it comes to him going away, when it comes to the big action, they've got his number. Okay. And so they wouldn't let him go drifting. He's not going far. He's got Secret Service with him all the time. As a former
Magda said he's got his passport back. That's true, but they'll be monitoring him.
They'll be monitoring, and they monitor the flight schedules and everything too. You just can't get in a plane and just take off.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So what before I read, but just a little hit that I got looking at Duck Larange's chart, because of the transits and stuff. So he's having a really tough time. He's having Saturn go through his 6th house, and the 6th house is health and healing and overcoming obstacles, but it also deals with battles, battles, fights, litigation, all kinds of scraps. And his Saturn in his 6th house is also aspecting, or transiting Saturn is aspecting natal Saturn in the 12th house, which I refer to as the land of far, far away. But it can also deal with health issues, addictions. It can also do with hospitals and prisons. So basically, I think Duck Larange's got 3 options on the table. 3. Either he escapes, he goes to jail, or he drops dead. Yeah.
I think there's a 4th. The 4th is suddenly he does have real assessments. He's found to be of unsound mind. He gets out of jail and he goes into a padded resort.
There you are. Yeah, there you are. Number 4, where he pleads that he's lost his mind. Yeah. So those options though are genuine. Like in terms of like the transits and stuff, I mean, there really is. He may consider it, and I know that, like what you guys said, is totally valid. He's got Secret Service and stuff like that. But remember, he's going to be surrounded by some crooked bedfellows.
Oh yes, and that's why I think there's something private about this. I don't think he'd get away with it, but I think he could do it, and then something had happened.
I mean, who knows? I mean, he might be training up Melania to fly the plane. You never know. Because she's like, I'll escape. But if he does escape, what my instinct is, I think he would go to Saudi Arabia, somewhere like that. I think that's the only place.
He likes the idea of the golden orb and all this, but he'd be bored. in 3 days.
He would be
Actually couldn't bear it.
Oh no, he'd be in jail before you know it. They don't put up with anything there.
Well,
But
remember
also, he's got nothing to offer any of these people anymore.
Exactly.
Right? He's not president. He hasn't got money.
Exactly.
He's a spent force in that way.
Yeah.
One viewer says Trump probably sold Alaska to Russia and China. Probably sold it to both of them.
Oh no! Do you know what? You know what? Nothing's beyond this man. You know?
No.
Really, like we might joke about it, but honestly, we are yet to find out the full extent, because didn't he try to buy? Didn't he think he could buy some country or something like that?
Yeah, look, he wanted to invade Venezuela and just take the oil. Why wouldn't you? I mean, it's just there.
I think it was Greenland.
He wanted to swap for Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
So that's not so far fetched.
I know, and someone could have been corrupt enough to think they've bought it. Like all those jokes about buying London Bridge. Go for it.
We have a number of people that did the pendulum and said, yes, he will try to escape. Will he be successful? And the answer is no.
I love the idea.
Love it. Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. So here we are. We're at just over 1,400 now. Wow, guys, this is amazing. But can you believe it? Surprise, surprise, the hour has come. So I'm going to quickly rip through my cards. So if we look here, Duck L'Orange, yeah? Is he going to flip? I think he might try and go for it. I think he might try and go for it. So here he is. Look, 2 of Pentacles upside down. So we know his finances are on the skids. One of the things he's worried about is losing money, because we know what? Litigation is expensive, and he's already had the experience of basically having to be represented by people that got their degrees at the Mickey Mouse show. In fact, I actually think the Mickey Mouse House of Magic probably would be better qualifications than some of these lawyers. So here he is trying to juggle, and it's all running flat. This is when your finances are skedaddle. Here you're trying to juggle, balance the choppy waters. Here the waters really are choppy. And of course, in 2023, in 2023, those loans from Deutsche Bank and all of that stuff, they all start coming due. Yeah. So he's juggling. Look here. We've got 2 of Cups, relationships, deals and stuff, but look, reversed. So what this suggests is, look, we all know his gift is grift. Yeah. But when you're not the president anymore, it starts to get a bit difficult, because the inexorable forces of time, the cycle, shall we say, of the presidential process begins to put that person in the past. So he's trying to get these deals, but I think he's not getting as many sweet deals as he would like. Yeah, because the 2 of Cups are reversed. Here we are. We've got the 5 of Cups, loss. Yeah, only a couple of cups left. So he's like, oh dear, I've been subpoenaed. This isn't looking good. I've got absolute clowns representing me. Maybe I do need to jump on a plane and try and get away. Then look, we've got a major arcana. Did I have one before? Yeah, we've got a major arcana. Look, we've got the Hermit in reverse. So he's feeling what? Paranoid. He's literally like, oh my God, how do I get out of this? He's trying to put a brave face on it. But look at the outcome card. Now, this is a bit interesting. Look at this.
Oh,
the outcome is the 4 of Wands. And we know that this can mean passing a milestone, a landmark, but it can also mean what? Real estate, security, all that kind of stuff. Is it the case that Duck L'Orange, in his hermity moments, probably one of the few times of reflection in his whole life where he's like, maybe I need to live somewhere else. Maybe I need to start over and get away. Maybe I need to call up my friends in the golfing league and maybe live on a golf resort or something like that. So my thing is, I think he's going to try and make a run for it. But you never know.
Well, we have, in New York, she's trying to put in, locking up his assets. and having somebody watch every single deal that he does, every single penny now. And he went and tried to create a new company so he can shift everything over there and give her the middle finger. Thought he was so slick, but she got him immediately.
So this could be to do with what? The real estate assets, because he's a real estate guy. 4 of Wands always talks about real estate stuff like that.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh, yes. There's Tiffany's wedding. And he's supposed to go to that. That's somewhere overseas.
Of course.
Ooh.
Tiffany's wedding. That could be how he does it. I forgot. Isn't it in November? Tiffany is she getting married?
Yes.
In November, isn't she?
Somewhere. Where is Tiffany getting married? Oh, my God.
There. Look. Ah.
The wedding card. Because I was thinking,
maybe he goes to Tiffany's wedding and he doesn't come back. Oh, we'll have to see. Folks, you heard it here first. You heard
That's right.
Because that's what I was thinking, because it is the wedding card. Tiffany, of course.
Yeah. I love that.
Oh,
well,
so it says they think the wedding is being moved to Mar-a-Lago.
If he's got have it abroad.
Well, look, I think we've got to keep a close eye on the wedding.
Yeah.
There's something there.
Because probably they had to move it to Mar-a-Lago because he couldn't travel to where it was, ironically. And so this is all getting very twisty-twirly.
Yep, I agree.
Very interesting, very interesting. But the time has gone. Can you believe it? I know there's so much we could have talked about. Let's do a quickie 1-card pull, because Surf Mom Florida has wanted to ask, is the energies going to be better for 2023? So let's flash with a 1-card pull to see what we can give for Surf
You
Mom.
mean, are we talking the world?
Yeah, like the world in general. Are things going to improve in 2023? Let's do a 1-card pull for Surf Mom, and then we have to end the show. It's been so entertaining, and thanks for joining us, everyone. All right, let's pull a card, and then we'll do a 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And then all right. 1, 2, 3. What do you have?
Ace of Pentacles.
Is that 3 of Wands?
Yeah.
I've got 2 of Wands. I've got 2 of Wands.
They're very alike, the 2 and 3 of Wands. Oh, that's interesting. So things have to be planned to get better.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is also speaking about trade, isn't it? Trade and goods. Yeah. So it looks
and
like
also learning from other places and people, that over the water stuff.
Yeah.
We have to realize we're world citizens. If we don't start thinking like that, we can't tackle climate change. We can't tackle the global inequalities. You know, we have to start identifying as world citizens.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Fascinating.
Someone said she was going to be married in Greece, but he couldn't go. This is very interesting. There's something there.
Watch this space, guys. Something to do with Tiffany's wedding, because when I tuned in, I saw him going. So if they can, because now he's got his passport back, there might be something there. But you heard it here first. But this wedding is something.
Because there will be private planes and yachts and everything coming to the Mar-a-Lago wedding. And
yeah. Trump could maybe just get on a boat, because once
he's got that little secret tunnel that goes to the beach, you know.
Right.
Because it was an extraordinary place, the actual building. And the last word, I think, should go to Linda. He could move to Nigeria and he could be a Nigerian love scammer.
I mean, that would be a classic. His gift is grift. We have to see, but I think we've hit on something there. Because remember that wedding card, it seemed a bit odd, didn't it?
Yeah, it was an outlier, but it's the key.
It's the key. So you heard it here first, guys. Watch this space. Let's see what happens with that wedding. And like you said, lots of planes, private planes and boats and stuff can come in. One can be away. in the melee of it all.
Imagine you'd have hundreds of people coming from everywhere.
I mean, can you imagine? Like, this would be the equivalent of like, it would be like if it were to happen, it would be like almost like that O.J. Simpson chase, but over water on a boat with helicopters, kind of, and everyone doing about 40 miles an hour, because obviously a boat can't go that
It's
far.
Starsky and Hutch or whoever those two were down in the Florida Keys or something.
You know, goes across the Atlantic. Who knows?
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming in. I have to go.
Yes, it's time for us to go. I hope you guys enjoyed that show. Thank you so much for joining us. Watch this space. The Cray bus is not done yet. Then the 8th of November, we've got the lunar eclipse. So we're in that eclipse season.
And next week's our Halloween show.
Oh yes, thanks for reminding me. We're gonna have a Halloween show next week, guys. So tune in for that. Thank you everyone for your questions and everything. We had a blast. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And we will see you next week for our Halloween special. Mwah! Much love, everyone. Thank you.
Ciao, everyone.
13,000 as well. Thank you, guys. I just hit 13,000. Thank you. See you, everyone.
Bye, guys. See you next week.
See you next week.
Yeah.